We're on, we're in, and looks like microphone level might be a bit high, but I'll leave it where it is. It's GTV. It's, what day is it today? I have to think about this. It's Tuesday today. It's Tuesday, the 26th of July, 2011, and it's just after 3 in the afternoon. What kind of day is it outside? It's bit misty, bit cloudy, sort of warmish afternoon. Um, not bad, really. Anyway, let's get on with things. Today's topic. I've titled today's little broadcast the milk of human kindness. You will see what that means as we progress through this. Almost instantly, you will actually get straight to the point. There's an article from British newspaper, the Daily Mail, entitled "It's Not All White, a cocktail of up to 20 chemicals in a glass of milk." And I don't know about you, but I'm quite partial to a glass of milk. Refreshing, generally thought to be full of lots of goodies that the body can use up. However, maybe it's not quite so. Let's have a look at the article. We also chalk this under other things that are happening at the moment. A lot of chemicals being put into food, a lot of GMO being promoted, a lot of small farmers, independent farmers being put out of business. We link that as well to the EU trying to ban herbs. Everything that's good is bad for you, according to the government, which is why you shouldn't listen to the government in those cases. Fluoride in water as well, you want to be avoiding that. Aspartame in chewing gum and soft drinks. Let's look at the language of that. Soft drink. Would you like a soft drink or a hard drink? Think about what that does. It's all in the psychology of the culture. Hippocrates said, "Let thy food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food." Quite right too. We are what we eat. Anyway, let's kick on with this. A glass of milk can contain a cocktail of up to 20 painkillers. Well, that's good, isn't it? They kill your pain. Wonderful. You don't need to take painkillers. Just have a glass of milk. Super. 20 painkillers, antibiotics, and growth hormones, scientists have shown. Well, that's what we all want, isn't it? We all want to grow up to be big and strong, so where's the problem? Using a highly sensitive test, they found a host of chemicals used to treat illnesses in animals and people in samples of cow, goat, and human breast milk. Animals. Don't you get the feeling that we just get treated like animals sometimes? The doses of drugs were far too small to have an effect on anyone drinking them. Surely if they're in the milk, they have an effect. I mean, obviously you're not going to have a glass of milk and look like who's that character with all the muscles on Cartoon Network? Johnny Bravo, is it? Maybe? No, whatever. Or one of the, what was that cartoon? Incredibles or something like that? Anyway. But they are going to have an effect. Everything has an effect on everything else. Life is just dominoes, one knocking the next one over. But the results highlight how man-made chemicals are now found throughout the food chain. Check the label of anything on the shelf. The highest quantities of medicine were found in cow's milk, not by chance, I imagine. Researchers believe that some drugs and growth promoters were given to cattle, or possibly, or got into the milk through cattle field or contamination on the farm. It was just an accident. The Spanish-Moroccan team analysed 20 samples of cow's milk bought in Spain and Morocco. I imagine they're relatively conservative countries in this respect, along with samples of goat and breast milk. Their breakdown, published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, revealed that cow's milk contained traces of anti-inflammatory drugs, niflumic acid, mefenamic acid, and ketoprofen, commonly used as painkillers in animals and people. So next time you've got a headache, reach for a glass of milk. We're also looking at here at the concept that if you change the food, essentially, you're changing the people. The tests showed that the milk also contained the hormone 17-beta estradiol, a form of sex hormone, estrogen. That's the female sex hormone. The more males that drink milk, the more you'll turn into females. Just have a look at any of the singers on MTV alternative channels to get the point that I'm making there. The hormone was detected at 3 millionths of a gram in every kilogram of milk. While the highest dose of niflumic acid was less than 1 millionth of a gram per kilogram of milk. Still, it's there. Interesting that these sex hormones appear again and again. Check the BPA plastic used in food containers and plastic bottles, and lining the inside of food cans, and lining the inside of your beer cans as well. Think about what that's doing to you as you refresh yourself after a long, hard day. Oh, and there's more. Let's go on. This also ties in with other recent stories that I've been looking at. Leading brands of baby food contain arsenic and other wonders. Fish have become genetically immune to toxic chemicals in another study. And also wine companies understate the alcoholic content in their wine, which number one serves actually as an advertisement for them, and on the other side has a completely negative effect for women. Moving on, food quality control laboratories could use these new tools to detect drugs before they enter the food chain, like they're not using them already. So the food chain, it's a food chain. What you are, what you eat, is already infected, affected. Shocking. Tests also found various acids in goat's milk. Breast milk contained traces of painkillers, ibuprofen, and naproxen. What do they have to give painkillers to cows for? What's that about? It's like the cow's got a headache or something, and take 2 of these with some water. These things don't happen by chance. Last year, Portsmouth University scientists found that fish were being contaminated with the antidepressant Prozac. How? Without directly feeding Prozac to a fish, could you actually discover or test this? And so people eating the fish will also be consuming Prozac as well. Soon we won't need to take any illegal drugs because the food will just be keeping us happy, happy, happy. Drug enters rivers and sewer systems, and so then plays with the brain chemistry of the fish, and so then plays with the brain chemistry of the people, who then go mad. Or normal people then have to deal with people who've gone mad, in my experience. Previous studies also show that caffeine is released into our waterways after surviving the sewage treatment process. And on and on. Hormones from the contraceptive pill and HRT have been blamed for feminizing fish, leading to male fish producing eggs, perhaps leading to strange things happening in men in the future. I wouldn't wonder. The effects of antibiotics blood pressure drugs and cholesterol-lowering drugs on wildlife are also being studied around the world. There was a story recently from Germany about the police dumping drugs in the river and weird things happening to all the fish. It's never ending. There was also a story recently about lithium. They love putting heavy metals in the water for some reason. The UK wants to put lithium in the water to stop British people. It's recommended by the government to stop British people from committing suicide because there are such dangers for the British people. They're all so depressed wanting to commit suicide that we can stop it just by putting this chemical in the water, because it already worked in China, and British people and Chinese people are obviously the same. Never ends. It's a mad world out there. Moving on, next story. Leading brands of baby food have been found to contain arsenic. Small amounts of arsenic and other toxins have been found in the soil. What are they doing there? What are we doing putting arsenic in the soil? Super. It's chemicals and fertilizers, I imagine, unless you have some other idea. These toxins are getting into the ingredients used in top-selling baby foods. I imagine it's not just baby foods then, it's all foods. But it will affect babies more as their resistance is lower. Manufacturers insist the levels are so low that they do not pose a health risk. Of course they do. What else would they say? They're not going to incriminate themselves for their own crimes, I'm sure. After all, it is a business. Just a business, mind you. However, scientists and food campaigners are calling for efforts to eliminate the chemicals from mass-produced products eaten by millions of youngsters. Oh, but they have to fight to get healthy food for the children. Researchers found baby food contains toxins from the soil that have made their way into the ingredients. Leading brands are listed here. Read the article if you want to know what to avoid. Organics hit Nestle Holly. There you go. Writing in the Journal of Food Chemistry, scientists from the Unit of Metals and Health in Stockholm said, but you never knew there was a Ministry of Metals and Health. It's amazing the jobs people have. Alarmingly, these foods may also introduce high amounts of toxic elements such as arsenic, cadmium, they love to put that in the food, lead, also great for the brain, and uranium, great for their whole body system, mainly from raw materials. These elements have to be kept at an absolute minimum. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to work that one out. Anyway, there's more. 2 years ago, Britain's Food Standard Agency offered an official warning. Children should be stopped from drinking rice milk because of arsenic contamination. How can these companies get away with that? How can you have a company that makes baby food and you be putting arsenic into the baby food and you be living a happy life because of this? How can you be doing that? You sick people. And even if you work for that company, or you're part of the chain, you're one of those links. I mean, you got to get in there and stop that, or at least point a word to the wise about things that are happening there. While arsenic is known as a poison, it is also associated with the development of certain cancers. So we're giving cancer to children now as well. Mothers don't have time to prepare the food in their busy lifestyle, so these companies do it for them. The mothers pick it up off the shelf and stick it in the microwave, which is also not good, and then stuff the poisons down the baby's throats and then feel happy about it. Jesus Christ. When are we going to learn? When are we going to learn? There's no other real reason to this. When are we going to learn? That's it. Thank you.